Welcome, guys. This is another episode of Cocktails with the Homies. I'm here at the Blind Spot with John and Roger, two excellent bartenders from this town. We're gonna get to know a little bit more from them and see what they're about. So, John, Roger, welcome in the show.
Thanks for having us.
Of course.
Thank you.
What can you tell me about you guys? I mean, where did you guys started in the industry?
So I started off at Ironside, and I was dishwashers there for a couple months, and then was back at the house for 2 years, and then out of opportunity, me going to a festival, and them not wanting to give me the days off. Someone asked me if I could be a busser over here, cover some shifts, and then started working here.
Just happened.
Yeah.
For me, I started working in a rock and roll themed beer garden in my hometown called Rock and Brews. I started as a dishwasher and a busser there, and then I moved from Expo to server and served there for a couple of years. And then 6-7 years ago, I moved to San Diego and just started working serving jobs all over the place out here. And during the pandemic, I worked with one of our other bartenders, former Cocktails with the Homies guest, Marty Thomas.
Hey.
And he's like, hey dude, I know you're making a shit ton of money as a server at this spot, but how would you like to just like make no money at all, do prep barback and like just like basically be by yourself and squeeze juice all the time and maybe be a bartender one day? And I was like, sure, sounds sick. And now 4 years later, we're here, we're bartending together in Blind Spot and having a fucking blast. So,
Where are you guys from, though?
I'm from Ontario, California.
Ontario, California.
Born and raised in San Diego.
San Diego, born and raised. That's cool. And then, what's the moment that you guys realized that you really wanted to be a bartender? Well, not be a bartender, but like once you got there, like that you clicked and you said like, hey, you know, you got this shift when you just enjoy it and you're like, then I actually want to keep doing this.
Oof. I mean, for me, it was like especially like starting off in $7 grand and being in a spirits focused environment. Like the first time, like you really get to have some of those engaging spirits oriented conversations and really talk to people and show them those whiskeys that kind of like really inspire them and direct them to try new things and figure some stuff out in that way. Like that, I think that for me was like the thing that made me really, really enjoy it, is like being able to talk in depth about distillation, maturation, like things of that nature with like-minded individuals who are really interested. It was like, it showed that like, you know, there's like no ceiling to this profession because you really can learn as much as you want to and impart as much of that knowledge as you'd like onto anybody else. It's not just banging out shots and beers and getting people messed up. It's actually being able to like talk candidly and honestly and about things that are really interesting to you. So that was for me my favorite part.
Mine was totally opposite of that. No, it was the flip of a room. Like I guess it was like when the room is very quiet and very chill, and then all of a sudden the energy starts building and the bartenders become the show and become the life of the party, and then everybody's interacting, everybody's talking, the room gets louder, the music gets like bumped up a little bit more, everybody's a little like just happier, and it was one of those like nights that it happened, and it wasn't just like the room doing it itself, it was you providing like the bartender being there and doing the work, and it just like everything organically, just like everybody having a great time and like almost dancing, wanting to dance and all, and just all that energy, built up energy, and like that was probably the thing that made it for me. Like, I was like, yeah, and especially for $7 grand, where it's not that kind of vibe and not that kind of energy, and then when it happens over there, and when I was bartending over there, that's when I was like, oh, this is really cool. When you could create something like that in a room that's not technically supposed to be something like that, that was a fun thing.
And I think to add to that, like that's like one of the cool things about creating this room back here and working really hard on this too, is like seeing people make the transition from like the sleepier, a little bit lower energy front room and like opening the door back here and like coming back in and then having their whole face be like, what? Like the complete vibe shift of like that energy, and then they're like, all right, cool, let's do it. And then they immediately hit the floor and they're dancing and they're drinking different types of cocktails and having a totally different experience. That's really, really exciting to watch, because it does play into like the duality of man, right? Where it's like you like everybody wants to like, you know, like sit there in like the plush leather chair and feel like their grandpa drinking a scotch, and then sometimes you wanna like get wild and order an AMF and dance your little heart out. So it's cool to be able to offer both of those things.
For me, it's like, I was here before when it was bar 3-piece, honestly, it didn't feel different from the front. Like, it took me a minute to realize that it was two separate bars, But then it's like, when I came in for the first time to the blind spot, and just like, boom, 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 and like people just having a great time, and like, because I was used to like, hey, you know what, like you're at $7,000, it's a little busy in the front, let's go to the back, right? Like that's kind of how it
Yeah.
Now it's like
have a bigger lounge area in a sense.
Exactly. Now it's like, oh shit, like do you want to stay here or do you want to go to the party back there? Like you guys literally transformed this place. Like this space is like, it might look the same, but like it's like completely different energy.
Yeah, total different energy.
And I think that's something that North Park needed, because at the end of the day, like you don't get a lot of places in North Park that can have a live DJ, for example. And a lot of people look for that. Like you go to downtown and like people are coming into the bars and the host is like, oh, there's no live music till like an hour. Because that's what people are looking for. And in North Park, we're not known for that. It's like, hey, you want to dance? Where do you go?
Exactly.
Nowhere, right? Like now you have the blind spot. You have what, like U31? Maybe?
Yeah.
And BTL, but BTL is not the kind of place where you go and
BTL, dude, it's an amazing spot and it looks beautiful. But like I tell people, I was like, dude, it's like a really bougie hotel lobby.
Exactly.
and there's no space to like really have it.
That's what I'm saying. Like
to dance or to like have that low energy.
And I think like that was kind of like the thing is like we were trying to create a balance too between like, all right, you can come in here, you can have a cocktail that's elevated, you can order from a selection of spirits that is like thoughtfully curated and has like a little bit of everything for anybody, and then you can come and get a bespoke bartender's choice drink as well, and then you can turn around and get a little bit ratchet and like and dance yourself to death or whatever. But at the same time, it's like you can do that without having to drink cheap, low quality booze or a cocktail that's out of balance or like any of those things. Like you can have your cake and eat it too here. And that was kind of the whole goal, was like, all right, like an elevated experience for an older, more mature clientele with a vibe and a price point that like a younger clientele can access it well. And you see when you're back here that we get a little bit of everybody. Nobody's like, look, there's no $18 cocktails on our menu that like, like walk 22-year-olds out of the bar. And there's no bad spirits on our wall that are gonna wake up 35-year-olds with a hangover. There's a good like mesh between both of those groups.
And I noticed, the first time I came in here, well, it wasn't my first time, it was like my second, third time when you made me an AMF, and now it was like seeing you pull all this like, but you were pulling all this like awesome liquor from the bar, and I'm like, what are you making? And then at the end it's like, oh, it's an AMF. But it was like, but being honest, is like, he was so elevated that he didn't really feel like an AMF, like it was well balanced, it was a good cocktail, I still enjoyed it. It did have a kick, because it has to, right? Like it has to. But like, I appreciate it. I was like, damn, like this is actually maybe the best AMF I ever had. Like.
Thank you.
And I was like, okay, I see what you guys are doing. But I know you guys have worked into different positions in different parts of the restaurant, and a lot of bartenders are starting and they want to get well positioned in this industry. Like, what do people in your position you think they overlook usually, like when they're trying to become a good bartender?
I guess like one of the place I grew the most was barbacking. That's where I think I learned. That's the place that I learned the most, and that's where I was stuck the most. I was there for a long time. Barbacking and bussing and prep. I did that for, I believe, like 2 years, and I got really, after doing it for that long, you kind of notice a lot. Everybody has a different, the people that you're helping have different ways of moving and working and doing their stations, right, as bartenders. So getting to learn people's like their mechanics, their timings, and then figuring out what they like, what they don't like. And then also, once you move from being a barback to becoming a bartender, those first couple shifts, you realize what you did not do right as a barback. and it was like, why aren't they? I was like, oh, all the things that you were complaining or that you complain as a bartender, those first couple of shifts, you're like, oh, damn, I could have done better. I could have been a better barback. I could have done this better. I could have been more efficient. I could have my timing and the things of my process and the things I move and helping the people that are behind making those drinks. I was like, damn, okay, next time if I ever have to do that again, or if I like ask me to cover a shift like that, I was like, I know what I need to do better or how I could make it easier time for the bartender. And also, it is one of the hardest jobs to be. The barback is the hardest job. I personally believe I can drinks is one, and being an entertainer, that's kind of easy in that sense. And obviously, it gets hectic, it gets rough, but being a barback, you're always on time. You always have to be running. There's always something to do, and so I think getting those things down and really working in that time is gonna make you a better bartender. Personally.
I think for me, like, especially like having like started to like move upward into management positions and everything, like when I started as a barback, I felt like I was in competition, and part of making progress in this industry going anywhere was like the rat race, was like beating everybody else, being better than everybody else, being more obsessed, being crazier, caring more, to the point where it's like you kind of it's really easy to care so much that you create a toxic environment. And what I think like the thing that I learned the most is like learning how to help each other. If you work with other barbacks, if you work by yourself, how much can you help the people around you? How much can you improve the people around you, instead of being frustrated that someone didn't do something for you or that someone didn't know something that you know? Like sharing that knowledge and then sharing that drive and that passion, and then enabling other people to lift themselves up as well. Because like if it's two barbacks and you're both leveling to get promoted, you want that barback to be a better barback when you're a bartender one day, or you want them to be able to be thankful of you if they get the job. And so like the thing that I like found was like kind of like leaning into that community within your bar and trying to lift everybody up. If you know something and the bartender doesn't know, the other barback doesn't know, the busboy doesn't know what he's doing, like, you know, instead of being like, oh, this guy doesn't know what he's doing, like, ugh, like being all frustrated, the best thing you can do is really just try and lift everybody else up. And that's the thing that I think takes you furthest in this community and in this industry, is just like building that sense of support and building that trust with each other to really just push everybody forward into the next steps.
Yeah, which sometimes is hard, you know, like, because like you said, like sometimes you care so much that you make a place toxic, right? And I definitely have seen that myself, you know. And
everybody's been in it. Everybody's been a part of it. And at the same time, the people that stick out or stay longer are the people that care and are genuine. And you see those people moving up and making something out of themselves, or moving off and, you know, trying to do better and not be in a toxic environment. But you see it, like, dude, the things that, like, the positivity does, you know, it does amazing. Like it really does flourish in the community.
I feel like, you know, as a leader, you need to like be positive for sure, you know, and you have to create that atmosphere that's welcoming for other people to want to learn, you know, because like it's like when you go to school, right? You got this asshole teacher that's just like, and you're like trying to learn, you gotta get into the exam and you're just like frustrated and like you're like, fuck, like I need to learn, right? But then you get this really laid back, chill teacher that's super cool, comes in, makes everybody laugh, and it's so easy to learn in that environment, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, for me, it's like when I'm in a position where I have to teach someone, I'm always like, you know, I want to be the cool teacher that is like, hey, I'm laid back. Hey, you made a mistake. It's fine. Do it again. You know, like everybody has to make mistakes to become better. Like I'm a great believer that you cannot be better without making mistakes. Like there's no such thing, you know, like,
and nobody's perfect. That's the other thing. It was like, dude, everybody has different qualities, everybody has different personalities, and that's why it's so unique to be at a bar and to be in the food industry. It's just like there are all these personalities that carry and make the environment fun.
And I mean, guests feel that too. If guests see you treating other members of your team poorly and they see that the toxic vibe is starting to build up, they don't like it. Even if they aren't directly aware of what's going on, they feel that you have that natural barometer within yourself to recognize that tension in whatever environment. And if you see that going on, you're not going to stay in a place and have a good time and be able to enjoy yourself, because you're like, are those guys about to like start yelling at each other or fighting or whatever. Like if you're not having fun, the people on the other side of the bar aren't having fun either. And if you're not helping each other, the people on the other side of the bar aren't going to want to come to you either. So like really like, that toxicity is contagious.
Moving forward from this, I would want to ask you, like, in an environment here where you have D and then 7 grand is so like chill in its own way, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, how do you guys balance the dynamic between technical, creative, chaos versus calm? How does that evolve to come to the blind spot?
That's an interesting one. So I think it's controlled chaos for us to a certain degree. Like there is the fun element and the fun aspect that we want to have, but at the same time we do have, like, in a sense, rules that we want to carry or standards that we want to carry to ourselves and to the customer experience. And so, yes, like it is like hey, yes, I'm gonna make that AMF that is all these, better fucking, stuff that we're gonna put in there. But at the same time, like, there is like a certain respect level that, hey, we want the customers to come back in and build regulars and we have on the weekends, especially, that we see them only on the weekends. They don't come here to 7 grand, but they come here specifically just to blind spot. And it's very interesting.
And I think that the journey for us creating this space and like starting back here, it's been almost a year now. And I think it's like basically like this time last year, we were starting to R&D the menu and build out the room and working out on a bunch of these things to get it open and putting a lot of time and energy to it. And what we talked about and what we thought about is when it was us working in the front bar on the weekends and like being up there, it was always kind of towing the fine line for us of like, what rules could we kind of bend and break and push in order to keep ourselves from getting fired or getting written up or getting in trouble. Like how much fun could we make 7 grand? So like in our mindset that entire time was the idea of like, all right, how, like, knowing where the fine line is and like really like stepping right all the way up to it and like starting to lean over a little bit, but never like tripping and falling over it. And so when we came back here and we got more of the creative control and the freedom to like go crazier, it just gave us another line to start pushing, because we were able to take 5 more steps forward when we were kind of like trying to like do the Michael Jackson lean and not not slip and fall. And so like when that happened, it was like, all right, cool, we'd become experts at like not letting things get out of control and go too far, and like mastering the way we could like kind of hold on to the chaos and really push it like that. That like it was already kind of second nature. And so the main thing was like figuring out where the line was going to be for ourselves back here.
Yeah, it was kind of like a teasing, like if you have a brother and sister kind of relates, or you have an older brother or younger sister, it's like, I'm not touching you, I'm not touching you, I'm not touching you. It's like one of those things, like it was always playing into that kind of mentality that we had, or like, just teasing or having fun in that sense. But yeah, it's very... trying to even creating the program for the music and the room aesthetics and like slowly trying to do something with the minimum that we had has been like the slow progress of, and then seeing it like from the day one to like where we are right now. It's so different and it's crazy to me personally, but yeah.
So how do you keep pushing the concept forward without losing what makes it fun?
I guess like now is more of the attention to detail. It's more us like at the beginning it was like a bunch of ideas and concepts and not really knowing and not having any like framework to go back behind and like really like, oh, this is what we have to do. This is what we're going to do. Now we've done this is a 3rd menu that we're going to do. And it's like now even creating the menu back here has become easier. Even the ideas and the bouncing back and forth. Now it's like for us, like the DJs and the music back here is like, all right, cool, elevating that now and getting like after a while, the people have been wanting to play here instead of us trying to look for people. People have seen the room and like, I want to be in that kind of environment and have fun and throw those kind of things. It's like now it's being more selective and being more on it for us.
Well, and I think that's the thing is like, when everything started, it was the whole idea of like, all right, cool, we don't know what is going on. We know what we want to do. We have like a long-term vision of the future. We have certain more short-term goals to make sure that we can stay open, obviously. But then the other part of it is like, all right, cool. Like you said, attention to detail and like building out a structure, a framework. So it doesn't always have to be us in here holding things together, and like enabling ourselves to learn how to like talk to the entertainment and be like, hey, like loved a lot of what was going on, but these things need to change in the future. Like kind of like fine tuning them to the room and what our expectations were, where we started without even having those expectations. And then we were afraid to have those conversations about those expectations. And now it's pretty clear and pretty consistent with all of the people that we work with and that we talk to, where like every night we like sit down, have a quick conversation, talk about it and move some things around. And then you see that marked improvement, whether it's your staff, your music, your entertainment, like all of those things. Like when you sit down and talk to people and you have a firmer expectation in place, then you get more things done and things go more smoothly. So it really has been just kind of like now knowing what we want and then finding the best ways to get it.
Yeah.
Okay. I like that. I mean, seems like you guys have a pretty clear idea of what you're trying to accomplish out here. I mean, it shows, you know, because definitely it's been a great improvement for our park, more than just 7 grand itself. You know, you guys have been able to build a different crowd from what like a lot of bars around here seem to get, you know, which, I mean, we need that variety, right? Like we can't just stick to the same guests and like compete against each other, you know, kind of thing. And I feel like that's kind of what Bar 3Ps was doing with 7 grand in the past, where he was like competing against the front to the back. And, you know, you can't compete against your own business. And same thing, you know, like if you're in a specific demographic, like you have to have something for everybody, right? And I think you guys like focus on a niche that was missing pretty much, you know, like good cocktails, good vibes, good music, all those things, right? Like, and you hit all the marks, and I mean, I'm happy for you guys for that, you know. Honestly,
Yeah.
I just want to see what you guys are up to, what the new menu was gonna be about, you know. But a question that I want to ask you guys is like, you know, you guys have been working together for a minute now, and it's like, what's something from each other that makes your jobs easier? Like, what does Roger makes to make John's job easier, and what does John makes to make Roger's job easier?
I mean, for me, there's like a huge number of things, because I think in a lot of ways we are a little bit different in personality as much as we are similar, and we have grown to become best friends. He's so smooth behind the bar. Like every time I watch Roger bartend, just like there's so little wasted motion, and he always has his knees dialed in, and everything is so ready and so consistent, and he does it so quickly and smoothly without like thinking. He doesn't look like he's moving fast. He never looks like he's running for his life. But when you watch Roger closely, like he's always just like so smooth, so technical, so fluid. Like that always makes me just want to like get more in control of my space and like using my body and not being crazy, like just like that technicality of it. Also, attitude, like the thing about it, like I don't think I've ever had a bad day working with him, no matter how bad my day started, because he doesn't let me. Like he's always just like you know, like pushing me, like challenging me, like chill out, do better, be happier, like, you know, like kind of like dragging that fun out of it, just the same way that we've tried to do that for the room. You know, it's like he always has my back like that.
I think the thing that always amazes me about John is how fucking smart and intelligent and just his brain works. It's so dumb to me. Like he retains all that knowledge and can bring it out of nowhere. And I'm like, bro, like really you're talking about this? I'm like, dude, I cannot. I was like, that sounds cool. Not doing that. I cannot. But it makes me want to be like, man, I want to be able to fucking do that. I want to be able to like, I know I'm smart, but I was like, dude, there's a different level of it. And I'm like, this bitch is so fucking crazy with it. And then also he's so charismatic. And it's like, it's just natural for him. It's one of he's just a natural charismatic person. And I'm like, all right, cool, man. I'm gonna let you do pretty girl. I'm gonna let you be the pretty girl in the room right now. Do it. You do you. Like you do you. Like yo, you know, be the star. But he has a very magnetic personality, and it's very cool to see, especially when you're working with him. And it's just like, all right, cool. Now I'm gonna get to tease him. Now I get to have fun with him. Now, like when he's in a good mood and when we're in a good mood, that's when the controlled chaos kind of happens. It's very fun. It's very, teasing. It's very, whatever it is gonna be. That's the opposites do attract, and the opposites do bring out. And we meet up in the middle. We really do meet up in the middle a lot because of it.
Yeah, I love it.
Hey, it's always nice to hear someone talk nice about you.
Yeah, I know. I'm embarrassed now.
Okay, well, let's move on a little bit. I'm gonna do this quick fire with the homies round. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask 5 questions, which some of them might be pretty obvious for people that know you, but let's let's go for it. I'm gonna start with, what's your go-to shifter?
Go-to shift rig? Easy. I think it's Mind Eraser.
Sidecar.
Sidecar.
Nah, I'm just kidding. Mind Eraser.
Well, like me, I've seen you.
Or tequila shot. No, it's gonna be a Mind Eraser.
Probably Mind Eraser for me as well.
I know. I don't think I've ever seen you guys, like when I see you at Craft Coop. There's not once I've seen you not having a mind eraser. So.
I usually have a tea with it too.
Oh, yeah. A little bit of iced tea for Roger for sure.
And then, what's your worst drink order?
Worst to make or to drink myself?
I mean, either or.
Mint julep.
Oh yeah, mint julep's pretty rough. Back here, Sazerac, because I don't have absinthe readily accessible. I always have to run and get it. Still always forget
They
to
just
run and get it.
annoying drinks. It's like, I guess, like, I hate dealing. Not that it's not an easy drink to do a mint julep. The mint, just clean it up afterward.
messy.
It's just
Yeah.
that's the part. That's the part.
Always stuck in the
Yeah,
tin.
that's one of the like that.
You throw it and then it goes everywhere. Like,
Yeah, it's one of those.
Okay, what's favorite song to shake to?
Probably currently right now it's probably the Bad Bunny song.
Oh yeah.
It's
To be awful.
yeah. It's either Bad Bunny or a classic one would be ASAP Mob Lamborghini High.
You ever getting that?
Hell yeah.
Oh, that's tough. I think the one that's been my favorite recently. Well, there's two. I'm gonna shout out 2 of our DJs right now. DJ Dooncat for Saturdays. He did a remix of Sweetness by Jimmy Eat World and like re-recorded all the guitar parts with his keys and like kind of Jersey clubbed it. That one's super fun. And then DJ Ratty, San Diego legend. He remixes Milkshake.
Okay.
And like has it like runs it back and scratches real hard through it. And like every time he plays that, like I get so in my bag, dude. I get so pumped up. That's probably my favorite one. Last Friday of the month.
Yeah. True.
I mean, that's
Okay.
sick. I want to be part of that. Then, what's your dream collab for a guest bartender? Dead or alive?
Dead or alive? Fuck. Dude. Dead or alive? Do they have to be a bartender or could it be anybody?
Anybody? Yeah.
Dream collab.
Dude,
Who would you love to have behind your bar?
I would love. Okay, David Lynch, dude. David Lynch behind the bar. He was the bartender in the Cleveland show, so I know he's got some game. Give me David Lynch behind the bar. I'm on it.
I don't know on that one. That seems. Yeah, that one I cannot give you anybody on that one.
Dude.
And
Like, you don't want to make anybody mad. Why didn't you choose me?
Dude, gotta get a
Well, we can skip on that one.
Yeah.
You gotta hit the pass, bro.
Big pass.
Yeah, it was a big pass. I don't know.
Okay, if the blind spot had a theme song, what would it be?
Dude, the Benny Hill one where it's like
It's probably gonna be an Annalie Choppa song.
or what, bro?
It's gonna probably be or what?
The orchestra mix.
Like the orchestra mix or what? Would probably be.
That's for real.
That's probably the song. That one.
I think that is the song we start our shit with.
Yeah.
Off every single time, every shift. And Ellie Choppa or what?
Do you guys have a last call song?
No, actually, we never have. I think like No,
One of our DJs, Stevie, he was doing "Creep" by Radiohead at the end of the night every night, and people eat that one up. That one always goes off. So I would say that's probably the closest thing we've had in a while.
yeah, I think with the last call song, especially for here, is it's just that it's not like the regular bar in the sense it's more of a DJ and like in that sense like a bit more uptune, and so we never did anything like that. And so usually the last 30 minutes end up being really hard or going really soft in R&B.
Yeah.
So, and usually the DJs end up kind of doing it themselves.
Yeah.
So, and we haven't repeated any last call songs over here. I don't think so. Or we just turn off the music and John yells.
It's usually
turn off the lights.
usually it's just me hollering. I try to say thank you. Try to say thank you.
Say thank you to everybody at the end of the shift, and thank you for coming. We give the shout out to the DJ, and everybody to get the hell out of here.
That's fair.
Thank you. Love you. See you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Last question: if Blind Spot was a movie, what genre would it be?
Psychological horror.
A comedy is psychological.
Yeah, dude. No, dude. It's like a buddy cop movie. I would say it's like The Other Guys or like something like that, where it's just
Something like Seth,
it's like Rush Hour. It's a buddy cop movie for sure.
I mean, that would be a good one. Well,
it's like super bad actually.
that's also a good one.
Go.
Well, for people watching, what days are you guys here? What's your hours of operation? When can they find you here at the Blind Spot?
Blind Spot is open Wednesday through Saturday, 8 to midnight on Wednesday and Thursday, 8 to 1:30 on Friday, and usually 9 because we have whiskey tastings back here at 7 on Saturdays. Check it out. Spirit Society and Blind Spot, 7 p.m. on Saturdays, and then we open immediately following and go until 1:30, and then Sunday, Monday, Tuesday we're closed right now, but stay tuned. Watch that space.
Yeah.
Well, come check these guys out. These guys are incredible.
Hey, no, takes one to know one, dude.
Hey, check them out. If you haven't been to the Blind Spot, you're missing out. So that was it for this episode of Cocktails with the Homies. See you next time.
Thank you guys.
Hell yeah, moving up.